Repeat after me. Repeat after me. Ta. Ta.
Ta. Ta.
Ta.
Ta. Ta. Ta.
Ta.
Ta.
Okay. This one. طائرة. طائرة.
Taira. Taira.
No. طائرة.
Okay, I got it. Taira. Taira.
Roll that R, roll it. No ra.
Ra.
Okay, forget the roll the R. طائرة.
Taira. What am I saying wrong?
Ta.
Ta.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Marhaba, assalamu alaikum. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the difference between the ta and the ta sounds, or harf ta and harf ta. Okay, a lot of students have issues with this. Beginner students, intermediate students, or even more advanced students have trouble with the more heavy sounds or heavier letters. So, as you may or may have not known, in Arabic we have heavy or heavier sounding sounds or letters. Okay, we have normal sounding letters like the T, which is harf ta bil Arabi, like the S, harf sin, like the D sound, or the letter D, which is harf dal. These we have them. They're separate letters that sound exactly like the English pronunciation or the English sound of that letter. Now we also have heavier versions of each of those letters. So for example, harf ta, letter T, we have a heavy version of that. And it's not really a version, it's just a different letter. But to make it easy and to help you guys, we're calling it different version, but it's an independent letter, but it just sounds like a heavier T. For example, you have regular T, ta, heavy T, harf ta, ta. I'm pronouncing ta. And notice what I'm doing when I'm pronouncing. I'm not saying ta, I'm saying ta. Okay, ta. Similarly, we have harf sin, which is S, regular S. Then we have harf sad. Think of it like a heavy S. Sad. It's an independent letter, harf sad. And then we have, for example, harf dal, and then heavy sound of that, but it's a letter, harf dad. Okay? In this video, we're going to be focusing on the ta and the ta. The differences between these. I know this may be annoying for some of you because a lot of people struggle with this, but hopefully by the end of this video, you have a few tools to help you identify the differences between the ta and the ta. Our focus will be the ta and the ta in this video. Yalla. Okay, let's start with a simple example with a letter that starts with the equivalent of the T in English, and the harf ta in Arabic. That's the word teen, which is fig. Okay, teen. Easy to pronounce, just like the abbreviation of teenager. So teen, tamam. Now, if I were to mispronounce that, add a heavy sounding T, it's going to change the meaning completely. So if I change teen to teen, this is a different, try to listen to the difference. Teen, teen, teen. Teen means mud bil Arabi. So teen and teen. Now, obviously very completely different things, but you can see how one simple pronunciation error can change the meaning of a word. Now obviously you'll be able to tell by context if someone mispronounces in most instances, and this isn't to say that anytime you mispronounce it's going to be a completely different word. Sometimes if you mispronounce, the thing might not necessarily have a meaning, you know what I mean? But in this case, if you pronounce the T with a heavy ta, it's a totally different word. It went from fig to mud. Tamam? So what we're going to do as a way to help you guys identify the difference, we're going to use a technique that I just kind of started using with some students, and that's the exaggeration technique. So I want you to, when you have a word, I want you to exaggerate the sound of it, for one, and then two, to replace that letter with the heavier letter, and vice versa, and see how it sounds. Okay, for example, we're going to start with words that start with the letter T bil Arabi, harf ta, which means the letter T. So let's take a look at very common word. Tamam, good. Someone asks you kif halik, tamam, good, or all good. Tamam, kullu tamam is all good. Tamam, good, fine. Simple response. So tamam is a T sound. It's not a heavy T. It's not a ta. Tamam. Now I want you to replace, first of all, switch the T with a heavy T and say tamam. Tamam. Now that's not the word. If you replace the T with a heavy T, you're gonna be like, no, that doesn't sound quite like tamam. Tamam, soft, regular T. Tamam, it's like, what the hell is tamam? Tamam. That doesn't necessarily doesn't have a meaning. It's not like our teen and teen example. That's just like, why are you pronouncing it with a ta? It's a ta. Okay? And this just, with time, you're gonna start knowing, okay, how this word is pronounced with a T, this word is pronounced with a ta. In this case, you know, if you replace it with a ta, it doesn't make any sense. So this is one way to kind of start identifying. So replace, so ta, tamam, and then say tamam, tamam. You're gonna be like, what is this? So tamam, okay? Another word, taj. Taj means crown, بالعربي. Taj, simple word. Now, if I replace the T with a ta, taj, it sounds different. Now, at the beginning, you might, if you're just comparing ta and ta alone, without examples, you might find that challenging. Like, hey, I can't really hear it. I can't really hear the difference. And this is very common for beginner students. But once you put it in a word and put it, kind of apply it, so you have taj and then say taj versus taj. Notice even how the shape of when I'm pronouncing it, the shape of my mouth is changing. So taj. There's no taj, it's taj, okay? So that's one thing. Now let's switch over to words that start with a ta. So we have the word for plane, which is ta'ira or tayyara in Amiyya. And again, if you're new to Arabic, make sure to check out the free mini course in the description to understand the difference between Amiyya, dialect Arabic, and MSA, modern standard Arabic, and more things, and learn how to introduce yourself and a few other things. Free mini course in the description. Check it out. So we have the word ta'ira. Now I want you to exaggerate and say with as heavy ta as you can. So ta'ira. I'm not saying ta'ira. So that's with a T. Ta'ira. This is not ta'ira. Okay, it's ta'ira. Exaggerate as much as you can. Ta'ira. Even if it sounds literally like too tough or rough, like you're really angry. But as long as it gets you to notice the sound. Ta'ira. Not ta'ira. Okay? And if the exaggeration isn't helping, try switching. Try using the incorrect letter, the ta in this case, and say ta'ira, and you're going to be like, no, that sounds too soft. It's not it, ta'ira, it's ta'ira. Similarly, the word for student, talib. I'm not saying talib. Exaggerate the talib, not talib. Okay? Tamam. So those are your quick examples. Remember, try to exaggerate and replace the sound so you can kind of start noticing the difference. Replace the ta with the ta just for experimental purposes. Tamam? Let me know if that video helped. Let me know if you also have other techniques that you have been using, and if you've been struggling, let me know in the comments. أكيد إذا في اقتراحات, if there are any suggestions for future videos, let me know. بشوفكم الفيديو الجاي. See you in the next video.